Good morning. It is Deborah Fryer, and we're on day. I should figure this out. I can never know, even though I've been doing this every day. I think we're on day. What day is today? Today is Friday, so that would be 36, 7, 8, 9. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think we're on day 39. Day 39 of the 100-day video challenge. I can hardly believe it. I've almost been doing this for 40 days. They say it takes 40 days to create a habit, and I have to say it's getting easier and easier to do this. So today, what I want to talk about is the universe. U is for universe. Think about you and how it sounds like you, Y-O-U. U is for universe. I also love that the U is shaped right this way. It's like a trough. It's like a well. What do you want to fill yourself up with? Because the more that you be you, the more you fill yourself up with stuff that delights you, and the more you act and speak and be and feel in your you-ness, the easier it is, and the more fun and the more joyful and the more prosperous it is. And really, the more you be you, the more everybody else gets to be themselves. It's so great when you start standing in your power. Now, what does this have to do with the universe? So there are a couple things. One is just from a quantum physics perspective, if you think about the universal laws that govern all things, I'm talking about chemistry and physics and biology, everything comes from the thing that came before it. Everything comes from its progenitor. So if you think of this from the perspective of chemistry, the first element has one electron and one proton, and then the next one, right, so the first one is hydrogen, and then in that, fully contained in that is the kernel, is the shell of, how can I say this? I'm not saying it correctly. The first element is fully contained in the second element. The second element is fully contained in the third. The third element is fully contained in the next one. In other words, when you look at the periodic table, every element is completely and totally contained plus one electron in the next element, so that every element is birthed from the one that came before. That I find really amazing. This is also true biologically. If you think about your cells, every cell is birthed from the one that came before. Everything arises from what came before. And so when you get this idea into your head, when you get your head around this idea, you realize that everything is in a state of growth. It's growing from the thing that came before. I live in Boulder, Colorado. It is spring right now, and everything is blooming. The flowers are out, the leaves are out, the buds are out, the bugs are out. Everything is showing its aliveness. And this is also true of us. We're not separate from that. Everything in us is also growing. All of our cells, without our even having to think about it, are constantly growing and replenishing themselves. We're shedding hair, we're clipping our fingernails. If you're a man, you're shaving, right? So there's information for you right there every single day. You're seeing new growth. And when you realize that it is inevitable that you are growing, you realize you have a lot of power, because you can deliberately grow in the direction you want to grow. You're growing whether or not you're thinking about it. And a lot of people are spending a ton of energy trying to not grow, trying to play small, trying to limit themselves, trying to not say what they really think or feel. And that is incredibly costly energetically. Not only is it costing you energy, but it's costing you your time, because you're spending your time playing small, being defensive, protecting yourself, hiding, instead of going out there and creating the awesome things that you are here to create in this lifetime. So from a universal perspective, growth is inevitable, and you are part of the universe. If you take yourself all the way to the very edges of the universe, scientists agree that the universe is constantly expanding. And so are you. How arrogant is it to think that everything in the universe is expanding except for you, and that you have the power to go backwards? It just doesn't happen. It's just physically impossible. It is scientifically impossible, and it is also spiritually impossible. You are included in the growth because you are part of the growth. You are in the flow. Hi, Tyler. Love you too. It was so awesome to spend some time with you. Hello. So I really want to encourage you to welcome, embrace, choose growth, because it is your birthright to grow. You can't help it. And when you just take off the brakes, you're going to realize, oh my goddess, how much growth is possible and how quickly are you going to grow. If you are a gardener or if you have plants in your house, just start watching them and start watching what happens when you trim them, when you prune off the dead leaves, when you prune off stuff like that has air roots. That's a signal that it needs a bigger pot. Is that you? Do you need to transplant yourself into a bigger pot? Meaning, do you need to give yourself more space to expand and grow into the beautiful potential that is waiting for you? I know that I metaphorically kept myself root bound for a really long time, because I didn't feel safe at my root. I didn't feel safe in my foundation. I had a super toxic relationship with money. I was afraid of it. I hated it. I resented it. I was ashamed that I didn't have it. And I would also be ashamed if I had it. And even when I started to make more money, I was really ashamed that I was making money. You know, I was damned if I did and damned if I didn't. And I realized that none of that was helping me. And I transplanted myself into a much bigger pot so that I could grow. And that's what my invitation is for you, because you are the universe. The universe is in you. You are part of the universe. And it is your birthright and it is your biological imperative to grow and to be rich. So go have it. It's super fun when you give yourself this permission. The second thing I want to share with you about the universe is, hi Jane, is this mudra, Gyan mudra. So this is an ancient mudra. Mudra means seal in the hand. And you're connecting the thumb, which is representing the universal, with the index, which is representing here, throat chakra, fifth chakra. It's about your ability to speak your truth, stand in your power, be you. Be in love with your truth, open to your alignment. And when you're open to your alignment, you just effortlessly fall into a flow because you're not in resistance anymore. So this mudra, I love this mudra. There it is right there. It looks like the AOK sign. It's an ancient seal that says, I unite the individual me with the universal energy. I recognize that I matter. And I love the word matter because matter is material. We are basically all energy. I'm going to go back to the periodic table. The way that on the atomic level, everything is a pure vibration, right? We know that cells are vibrating. And we're that. So we're just basically a whole bunch of vibration. You get to choose the frequency. You get to choose if your vibration is quick or slow. You get to choose if your vibration is dense or if it's expanded. And from an energetic perspective, energy can be super dispersed. Think about the sun's light, right? It's dispersed energy. You really can't pinpoint it because it's everywhere. And we are compressed energy in this physical body. And that density shows up as matter, right? It feels solid. It's actually not, but it feels solid. And so we are energy compressed into matter. We are matter and we matter. So this mudra reminds us through the index finger touching the universal that you as the individual matters. You matter. And you are also inextricably connected to and bound up in that universal energy field. As Rumi says, you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean. So that's what I want to share today. It's really all about celebrating you as in universe. Have a beautiful day. I would love to know what resonates for you. I would love to know how you stand up in your truth and how you stand in your power so that you can just radiate your brilliance, your creativity, your love, your light, your life force. I am totally here to support you being you, and I'm sending you tons of love, and have a beautiful day. I will see you tomorrow.